Justin, tell me your background of partnerships and your partnership experience, because I think with Webtrends Optimize looking for more partners, I think it's relevant that we actually have the right person in the right job. So could you just give me a little bit of your background?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem, John. And thanks for inviting me on. So obviously recently joined Webtrends Optimize as VP Partnerships and Demand. And my background has, as you quite rightly said, always kind of been within the partner channel-led businesses. So starting a long time ago, back in the IT AV hardware kind of reseller channel model, and then more recently getting into SaaS and software with the guys over at SessionCam and kind of developing their and creating and developing their global partner network from scratch, as it was then, which soon got acquired by Glassbox, and then obviously have come over to Webtrends Optimize. So yeah, partnerships has always been my thing, really, and kind of partner-led and channel-led businesses.
So just kind of delve into that a little bit. Within, let's call it SessionCam, because I know SessionCam of old and I know it's now Glassbox, but what was kind of your reasoning behind setting up a partnership channel through SessionCam?
Yeah, so SessionCam at the time were a couple of years in, had a very, very strong direct-to-client model, kind of had the SDR team working in the background going direct to clients. But it became apparent very, very quickly that a lot of large clients, large brands, were utilising agency partners to make a lot of decisions around experimentation, optimization, and generally improving conversion rate. So yeah, it made business sense to kind of start working quite closely with a lot of these agencies, not just in the UK, across Europe and North America at the time, and kind of develop these relationships so ultimately we could get closer to some of these clients. So that's kind of how it was born, and it seemed to work really well.
I'm right in saying it was a path to market that you were developing.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it was just an additional path to market, and ultimately the plan was to have more than one route into these clients, into the market. And I think in time it generated over 30% of the overall client-led business. So it was a huge avenue, huge route to market, which just got larger and larger and larger. So it was an important part of the business.
If I can just ask, I obviously know the answers to this, but I'll let you explain them a little bit more, is why is Webtrends Optimize now looking to increase its partnership model?
Yeah, okay, so very similar to what I said about the SessionCam model, partner channels, in my opinion, are key to the growth of most businesses, but especially SaaS platforms, just like Webtrends Optimize. And they lend themselves brilliantly to that kind of partner model, because there's so much of a value add a partner or an agency partner can partake and take into their client. So if an agency partner likes what we do, likes the platform, it can form part of, I don't know, maybe an overall toolbox they have, which they will utilise on behalf of their clients. And if it increases and benefits what they're doing with their clients, it obviously makes perfect sense for us to work closer together, and they almost become part of our internal demand engine, if you like, and sales machine. So, and don't forget also, some partners, agency partners especially, can take you into different territories, different markets, different geographical regions. So yeah, it's important we're working with these type of businesses. So yeah, it's hugely important we get closer and kind of establish that network.
So one would kindly put it that those agency partners that may not have utilised CRO, are those the kind of partners that we're looking to bring on as well, or is it just those people who are in the space?
Yeah, that's a really good question. What is kind of the ideal partner? What we look for in a partner? I could probably wax lyrical on that alone, that question. Different people will have different answers to this. For me, it is essential they have great clients. They have enterprise level clients, they have mid-market clients, but they do have a great understanding and a good reputation on digital tools, which complement their overall offering. So Yes, I would probably suggest that we do look for people who are kind of versed in the practice of CRO and know that space and have good knowledge of across the different ranges of tools, not just in experimentation, but it could be in user testing, analytics, a voice of the custom stuff. So yeah, I would say it definitely helps if they are kind of in that space and I'm providing them kind of services to a client. But also I'd probably say, which probably isn't spoken about enough, is we want to work with good businesses, with good people. It's no point having great businesses but with not good people, and vice versa, good people, not so great businesses. So having a match of working with good people and good businesses is key. We're going to be working with these people a lot day to day, so we need to kind of get on with them. We need to trust them. And I suppose the most important message for me in what I would certainly look for is they want to grow with us. They want to grow together. So I think if you're ticking off 2 or 3 of them kind of points, you're probably on the road to a fairly successful partnership with somebody.
And does it matter what kind of size they are? Do they have to have, 2 or 3 CRO experts already in-house, or are you quite happy to deal with the smaller agencies as well? No.
I wouldn't say that size really comes into it. It's more the clients themselves. And if they do need extra support, again, that's where we can come in. That's where we can really, really start to help, because we have so much support here at Webtrends Optimize, as you know, in different areas of a business, developers, analysts, optimization consultants. So size doesn't really come into it. It's more about what they're offering their client and where we can kind of come in and support that, I would say.
So you've kind of expressed what we're looking for from a partner. What do you think a partner is looking for from a supplier like us?
Yeah, so once upon a time, I feel the obvious answer here would have been a shed load of leads. But yeah, as we all know, that's not a sustainable model, really, especially as we grow out this network and we have kind of multiple partners with limited leads. So we have to look at other ways to work with these people and take the benefits to them. And a more sensible way would be kind of growing business together, attacking new areas together, collaborating on maybe joint sales pitches, executing joint events, co-presenting joint webinars, doing co-funded socials, kind of coming together as a joint proposition and kind of sharing the joint knowledge and education we both have and becoming kind of a stronger entity would be a much better model, I'd suggest.
So do you think with the imminent sunsetting of Google Optimize in both its free and paid for versions, do you think there's an excitement about trying to find a new partner? Probably excitement's the wrong word, but is there kind of lots of partners looking to be able to replace Google in some way?
Google Optimize, them 2 words, that's all I keep hearing. But it's obviously caused a bit of uncertainty within the agency network. I feel that some agencies are starting to panic because they do have historic relationships with clients who are utilising Google Optimize and always have done. I know a lot of agencies are now looking around at other providers, and there is lots of different providers. But let's not forget kind of what Google Optimize did, really. It did introduce a lot of businesses to the idea of experimentation and testing. Certainly maybe some of the smaller businesses who were maybe quite immature when it comes to experimentation. So it kind of has almost propelled the art to the masses in many ways, which I guess we should all be thankful for in some way. So having an alternative is really important. And we did actually have an alternative, from the offset, as you know. So we did have an offering in their space. We had a free tier, which was based on limited sessions, which was pretty unique to us. So it wouldn't be too much of a leap from somebody to come over and from Google Optimize to Webtrends Optimize without too much pain. And again, we don't have the paywalls and the upgrades which some technologies might ask for. So again, it becomes a little bit less risky for some clients. Certainly if they just want to play around with it, to try the solution. And I've got to say the commercial offering is insane at Webtrends Optimize. It's incredible. Having worked in the industry a long time, I can safely say, the tech is something, but the commercials are something else. And so when you start to put all these ingredients together, you could say it becomes quite compelling. And if anything, it's a support. Our support network as well is, having been in the business, 3 months now, I don't think I've seen so much support around each client and each opportunity. And again, that might be reassuring to a lot of people who are wanting to kind of make that transition over. So as I said at the start, there's developers, analysts, support, optimization consultants, partner managers who will all kind of have a helping hand in the success of a client. So there is options out there. The options aren't going away, but I would say Webtrends Optimize is definitely a good alternative. But I would say that, wouldn't I?
I was going to say, you wouldn't. You probably shouldn't be on this podcast if you weren't. Let's put it that way. So, saying that there's a lot of noise in the market space around Google and moving out, there must be a lot of what you would describe as new entrants to the market which are trying to fill that gap that Google is there. And I mean new entrants, I don't mean just in the last 3 months. I mean those people who are trying to feeling their way into getting a larger customer base and offering maybe a freemium model or something like that. Do you feel that partners are, or the partners that we're looking for, are more kind of mature in the fact that if it's good, there has to be a fee associated with it? And do you think that's also reflected in the end users of those partners?
The majority of partners we work with are very, very experienced. As I said, they work with large clients, enterprise level clients, or certainly mid-market clients. So they will have a vast knowledge of all the different tools out there. I don't think for 1 minute that it becomes a price point for partners. I think in many ways it's the value add they can take from the tool, and as I kind of alluded to before, the support is something which I find a lot of partners will really be interested in and want and be reassured that we have that support around each client. So as much as price does come into it, I don't think it's the driving factor for many partners, and certainly not the partners we work for. It's kind of what we can put around the tool itself.
Those kind of agency partners that are trying to make that move, or their clients are forcing them to try and make that move, there must be quite a bit of turmoil with contracts ending at certain times, with ongoing experiments that they're getting concerned about being able to run for long enough to be able to get results out at the other end. Do you think that the partnership with Webtrends Optimize offers sufficient retraining or kind of adaptation from this is how you did it with Google and now this is the way you do it with Webtrends Optimize? Because I think we need to be seen to be offering a kind of an easier path, almost a seamless integration with moving from Google into moving to Webtrends Optimize. Can you tell us a bit about what we offer in respect of support and retraining, etc.?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so many of the agencies who are coming over historically with Google Optimize clients, we are doing a lot of work with their teams, obviously around training on the product, masterclasses, how to kind of get the most out of a product. Most of the agencies and partners we've migrated over to sandbox environments, so they're all kind of playing around and starting to build out tests on a regular basis, knowing that the sunset of Google Optimize is coming at the end of the summer, September, October time. We hope, and I have no doubt about it, but by the time that comes, they will have had good use of our tool for 2 or 3 months. But with our support network around it. Okay, so as I said, all the agency partners and all their staff and account managers are now going through lots of kind of onboarding, training, as I said, master classes and sharing case studies, and it feels like it won't be too much of a jump when it comes to it in September, October, because we've done a lot of background work. It's been going on for the last couple of months, and it will continue out throughout the summer of this kind of migration program. So there's a lot going around, a lot of activity going into these agency relationships, and ultimately they will then be in a good position to take those learnings to their clients in September.
So one of the challenges, I think, having been in partnerships myself in a previous incarnation, is that lots of partners will want a kind of a quid pro quo. So we could talk about it as being skin in the game. But from their perspective, are there any things like revenue targets that a partner has to achieve, or commitment to staff being trained, or even their sales team being trained?
Yeah, I like that term, skin in the game, because it's so true. It's so true. Both sides need to take something from a partnership. I'm sure if you were to look up the word partnership in a dictionary, it would mention something along the lines of a two-way relationship or active participation or something along those lines. So it needs to be a two-way street. We need to be able to work with each other and be aligned. And let's be honest, businesses are different, and when it comes to culture, mindset, how professional a company might be, we need to kind of be aligned off the bat in many ways. We need to be trusted of each other's capabilities. Ultimately, how we're sharing a lot of clients, so we need to ensure that both sides are keeping their game pretty high. Obviously, there's the commercial benefits which we need to be aligned on. We can't have one side making money and one side not making money. We need both to kind of benefit from this relationship. We need to complement each other. Be proud that we work with each other. And the second part of your question, talking about the now
support staff being trained.
And the
revenue targets.
Revenue targets. That's what I was looking for. Revenue targets. God, my mind went completely blank then. It's not something. I always feel that's quite a dated way of doing business. Revenue targets and financial commitments. It almost feels like it was something which, going back to the IT AV hardware days, in distribution, the box shifters seem to kind of work to that model. But most agency partners, I think, pride themselves on very much being flexible and agile. And I think as a partner, we need to match that as well. We need to be flexible and agile. And what I mean by that is kind of ask them and listen to them as to what makes them tick, what commitments they can work to with us, how engaged they need us to be, who they would prefer to take the lead when we get a joint opportunity together. So I think we are sometimes just a small element of what an overall agency can offer. As I said before, they might be kind of experts in user testing or user replay technologies, or voice of a customer, or big on design, analytic analysis. We just might be a small part. The testing part might be a small part. So we have to listen to what works for them, how we fit into that overall business, and we shouldn't maybe dictate too many terms. It's kind of finding that kind of happy medium, I guess, where both sides benefit. So
that must be quite difficult to manage, because obviously there are different expectations of different partners to do different things. That must be quite challenging for you, particularly.
It's very, very challenging, and it would be so much easier if one model fitted all. but we just know it doesn't. Every agency works differently. Every partner we work with works slightly differently. They might have more of a focus in one discipline than another. They might rely on us a bit more than they would other partners. They might want us to take a back seat. So it's really, really difficult to manage. And I think the partner managers, myself, do very, very well at kind of managing it with them. But it's unfortunately, as I said, one model doesn't fit all. So we have to be really, really flexible in how we go about working with them.
Outside of commitments, how frequently do you expect a partner to be engaged with us? Is it something that they do on a weekly basis, or is it something that we have a monthly review or a quarterly review with our partners?
Yeah, so again, going back to the question before, every agency partner is different. They might want to hear from us every day. They might want to hear from us throughout the day on a Slack channel. They might want to just meet up once a quarter and review business. We have to listen to how we can fit into their businesses. But don't get me wrong, activity for me with a partner network generally is probably the most important thing we do. Activity is at the forefront of everything. My past partner managers in previous teams, and probably the current ones, would say that would be written on my gravestone. Activity is key. Activity is key. But it really is. So things like account mapping and ensuring the training's been complete with all the different levels of the business. Ensure we're kind of at the same events and exhibitions, and we're doing the marketing together, and we're building relationships. Blah 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 blah. But in terms of how often we do that really depends on them themselves and what they need from us. We would love to be doing that kind of stuff on a daily basis, but obviously that's not the real world. We have to kind of wait in line, if you like, and wait for our time. So, activity does pave the way to success, but we do have to be patient sometimes as when we can kind of carry out this activity.
So is there such a thing as an ideal partner relationship? Is there a holy grail?
Is there a holy grail? One which gives us lots and lots of business. No. No. Is there an ideal partner? Yes, I suppose there is. The idea, yes, there is an ideal partner. They have great clients, they're expert in what they do, they're really nice people, they want to see us all the time. They want to cooperate on opportunities and clients, and don't work with anybody else in the industry. But we're not going to get all of them, unfortunately. But if we can get maybe 3 or 4 of them aligned, we're in a really good place, and we can certainly do a lot more with that partner.
Sounds like that we're looking for unicorns. If you're going to
I think so. I didn't want to say that, John, but I think you're pushing that one.
So what can we offer with regard to business development? Because obviously a partner is giving commitment of their time to us, and we're giving commitment of our time to them. So there's that kind of skin in the game from both sides. But one of the challenges that I think that agencies normally have is they want to be able to know how they can utilise us as a leverage to increasing their business, and that's whether that's just brand awareness or whether that's we're doing some marketing stuff with them. Tell me what we've done with a number of partners, without naming names, to be able to instigate ongoing business development.
So so one of the first things we would probably do is we would make sure that we've met all their team, so all their consultants, all their account management team, and make sure that they're all totally versed in the Webtrends Optimize brand and offering. And then it's doing some account mapping together, sitting down and looking for that white space, and then talking about how we can attack that space together. And that's when you get into the joint proposals, the co-marketing campaigns you get into, so webinars, that kind of stuff. And then kind of making sure you're kind of at the forefront of each client's pitch together, and making sure that you're talking the same language. You're fully versed in each other's business. You feel confident that both you can deliver your ends of the deal, and kind of I guess just kind of developing as much business as you can that way. Ultimately, we have, as a business, we have to prove that our platform does deliver what we say it will. And after the testing and the sandbox environments and the proof of concepts have all been completed, they will feel confident, we will feel confident that we can now deliver that to an active client. And then we can obviously, if we need to, roll out past case studies of where we've done business together in the past. So yeah, if you kind of put all that together, it becomes quite a compelling line of activity for new business.
Can you dig in a little bit more with regard to partner marketing? Because I know that's always a hot potato with regard to offering to agencies, etc.
Yeah, again, at Webtrends Optimize, we have a fantastic marketing team who are very, very hands-on with our partners, which is really refreshing for me because it doesn't always happen, having been in past SaaS businesses. So they will actively work with the partner manager on a day-to-day basis to talk about maybe joint workshops we could do. So a good example of that would be inviting a joint client into a event workshop type scenario where we talk about some of the experiments and successes we've had. We can invite lots of prospects from both sides, the partners' clients as well as our prospects. We can get into some case studies of what's gone well. We can do co-funded exhibitions. We can do social dinners. We do a lot of events. We can do a lot of mail shots together. Pretty much whatever they ask, we can get involved with when it comes to marketing, and that's a huge benefit to a lot of partners. A lot of partners don't have huge marketing teams, so they can start to back that off and rely, pass that over, if you like, to us to kind of be their extension, if you like, in the marketing world. So again, going back to driving business, the marketing element, the joint marketing element is a huge part of that.
One of the things that I think this is probably a good idea to interject at this time is to be able to just mention what we do as a sponsor for Sussex Cricket, because it's not just about our brand. So what do we do with the partners?
Yeah, so we've had a sponsorship with Sussex Cricket for quite a long time now, and that acts as a fantastic venue to get some of our clients and some of our prospects down to watch the cricket and actually get to meet the Webtrends Optimize team. People love to buy from people. I know it's an old cliche, but it's true. So getting to know the different levels of the personnel at Webtrends Optimize is a huge benefit. And that's what we can do. And we've had some fantastic days watching the cricket down at Sussex, where, like I said, the clients and the prospects get to meet our CEO and our financial director and different people who you wouldn't normally meet on the day-to-day level. So it just increases that kind of, we're one unit, we're a family type unit, and please enjoy your time, get to know us, and get to know the real kind of company behind the platform. And it seems to work really, really well.
For now, Justin, I think that's a good synopsis of how we deal with our partnerships and why we're moving into the partnerships. I think one of the challenges that we've got at the moment is obviously with Google changing their mind and their view on Google Optimize, things are going to be very different perhaps in 6 or 12 months. So if I may, I'd like to catch up with you again in about 12 months' time, just to be able to see how the lay of the land is, because I think that there will be quite a difference in the way that partners are interacting with us in that time, because of Google disappearing off the market from Optimize's perspective. So if I may, I'd like to pick up this conversation again, say at the end of the year.
I'd love to do that, John, yeah. And I think it will be a very, very different conversation. As you said, Google Optimize would have gone, and yeah, we will have a lot of agencies transitioned over to the platform. So yeah, it should be a different conversation, but a very positive one. So yeah, looking forward to it.
For now, Justin, thanks very much.
Thanks for having me, John.